Last night we had off kind of leaving 2024 behind. Aren't you tired of 2024? We spent a whole year with 2024. Enough already. Think of it like, we took a bath and the remnants of the bath water, or doing the dishes and the remnants of the kitchen sink water is just about going down. We know where it's going to go, essentially, right? It's like a wolf spider or an anaconda wants to pop out of the drain. In the last few moments, let it, right? Anyway, by the way, wolf spiders are good spiders. Wolf spiders eat the poisonous spiders, just an FYI. Although they can be aggressive, they actually do keep the spiders that can truly harm us. They prey on them. So if you see a wolf spider, do try not to flush it down the toilet or the sink or whatever. They're eating the bad spiders. I got off on a tangent with the spiders. I have another wolf spider story that's in my head, but I will not share it because I think it's a little gross. Anyway, I am here today to get rid of wolf spider thoughts right now. I'm here to do 2025 readings. I want to do a general introduction. Will be more, obviously, 2025 readings to come. But I want to see what should we lean into. One simple message for each sign. I am going to go by element. I'm going to start, I suppose I'll start with fire and then continue with water. And I suppose we'll do fire, we'll do water, we'll do air, and then we'll do earth. Do all 12 zodiac signs. Each reading will probably be anywhere from 3 minutes to maybe 5. Not much, not long, if you want to hop around. So we'll start off with fire signs. Just a short, quick message. I am going to do longer, as I said. But what I want to do here is just see a quick word of what we all should be thinking about as we're preparing for 2025. What should we be leaning into? Not really so much letting go. But let's forget about letting go or all that sort of conscious things. Let's think about what should we be adapting and adopting? Like right now it's cold. I know that when I go outside, I should wear many layers, right? I'm leaning into that. Anyway, let's start with fire. We'll do Aries. Actually, you know what? I always do Leo at the end. I'm going to start off with Leo. What should Leo... Oh, and by the way, if I didn't say, with these energies, I'm seeing them as anyone with strong... If you feel that zodiac's collective strong. So it could be not only your sun sign, your moon, your rising. If you have first house energy in that sign, if you have multiple planets or houses in that sign, if your signature sign, if out of all the elements in your chart, some of us have a dominant sign. Energies like that. Okay, if you feel it strongly, if you feel like I feel probably 4 energies quite strongly within me. And then I do have other energies that I feel as well, right? Things like that. We're just not all one thing. All right, let's go into Leo. That's what we're going to do. We're going to start with fire, and because Leo is always at the end, we're going to kick off with Leo. Leo, for 2025, what should you lean into? Is this diplomacy that I'm seeing, Leo? Oh, I'm actually seeing the opposite. Leo, I think for 2025, I think you should lean into not wasting your time after you stated your case or after you've made your point. Either people will get it or they don't. I think that you could spend time where you spend reiterating your points or maybe your side or your view. You can spend that better off doing other things. People want to go and follow Leo. If people want to understand, they will. So for 2025, I think that, definitely when you are working with people, when you are presenting new ideas, presenting yourself, and definitely continue putting out your very best. But then up to a point, right? Don't be redundant, Leo. If you have to cut something off, then do so, because you'll be a lot more productive that way. Sagittarius. For 2025, what you should lean into. Sagittarius, you should be initiating. And in fact, Sagittarius, I'm going to say too, in this energy, even though I have Justice at the end and Nine of Swords. These are the cards that I'm reading, Sagittarius. You may raise an eyebrow at what I'm about to say. But I think what you should lean into is initiating, creating the ideas of new. Don't necessarily worry about the follow up or the follow through or how something will conclude or how something will age, how it will mature, and so forth. Sagittarius, for 2025, I think you should lean entirely into ideation and new starts and fresh starts. Get people excited, Sagittarius, get them committed, and let the details work out organically. Don't think, Sagittarius, in order to approach something, initiate something, start something, you need to have the full, the 360 blueprint plan. Have the germ of the idea, Sagittarius. Get people excited, and the ideas are going to flesh themselves out and how they'll behave, how they'll work, the rules and matrices, how it'll be supported, and so forth. What you should definitely focus on is not be concerned with the droll details, Sagittarius. Just be an idea factory for 2025. Aries. Aries, what you should lean into for 2025. This is a little interesting energy, Aries, for what you should lean into. Part of me wants to say, Aries, and maybe this is relevant for two groups throughout your collective. Part of me wants to say, Aries, that you spent enough time, or maybe in order to truly trust people, maybe you've been a little too hesitant, and what you should lean into more is opening yourself up faster. And ironically, Aries, the other message I have is actually the exact flip side. So take this as it resonates here. The flip side is, Aries, maybe before you open yourself up to others, you should take a little bit of time. You know, there's two sides to everything, right? Even when they talk about astrological aspects, usually they put out one set of, oh, well, if you have these signs or so forth, these aspects, and it means blah, blah, blah. But likewise, too, like it could say, quiet little cat. Just like it could say, for instance, you may be a lover of extravagance, right? You can have an aspect that says that. But just as likely, that can be flipped, and it could be that you really go for the simplicity. You don't really have any extravagance at all, right? With those astrological aspects, there are the flip sides like that. They don't really talk about how it can flip, but it could flip. Anyway, Aries, that's what I have for you. Some of you need to open up. I'm hearing a chorus of cat meows. I think I'm being trolled by someone. My Siamese. I may have to go and get her. Anyway, yes, some of you need to open up faster, and some of you, Aries, you need to open up slower. All right, let's go on to water. Scorpio. For 2025, what you should lean into. We'll take that. Scorpio, what you should lean into for 2025. I almost hate to say this, Scorpio, but I think you should think less. Not overthink things so much, Scorpio. Not everything has to be perfect, Scorpio. Not everything even has to make sense, Scorpio. I think for 2025, Scorpio, what you should lean into is almost like Sagittarius, the joy of initiating, the joy of starting, the joy of creation. Refine the details afterwards, Scorpio. Start things freer in a more fluid manner. Don't worry exactly about where they'll lead. Just see what avenues you can create and go from there. Pisces. For 2025, Pisces should lean into Pisces, what you should lean into, I feel like, again, maybe I'm not using quite the most diplomatic of words today, but I feel like you should lean into your greed, Pisces. Pisces, have you been a little too frugal with yourself, or maybe you've been thinking, oh, maybe I can only have one of this and I can't have both of that, or maybe if I say something or if I do something, I'm going to appear in a certain way. And Pisces, I think by having that sort of limiting, you're placing limitations on what you want and then how you go about getting them. Or with what you want, Pisces, you are sort of thinking you can only have 1 to 3 of what you want, when in actuality, you can have 1 to 10. So why are you putting limitations on what you can have? And also, too, Pisces, why are you putting limitations on how you go about getting it? Pisces, I think for 2025, you should realize that everything that catches your attention, Pisces, you can acquire. Have that mindset, Pisces. And all you have to do, Pisces, don't care about necessarily how you go about getting it. Maybe if you ruffle some feathers, maybe if you go about some unorthodox ways. I don't know, Pisces. There's something about the Page of Swords that is not a follower, right? A Page of Swords really is, well, let's see, the spark, the sprout of innovation. Right, Pisces, a Page of Swords. A Page of Swords initiates new ideas, new thoughts, may be popular, may not be popular. And Pisces, I don't think you should care about the popularity. Just know that you can go and get whatever and all that you want. So I would say lean into, again, not the best choice of words here, but work with me. I think you should lean into the greed and desire of what you want, because you can build all that. You can bring all that. You can make all of that, Pisces, into something tangible you can hold with your hands. That is what Pisces should lean into for 2025. Hello, Robin. Good morning. For Cancer. Cancer, what you should lean into. Be quiet, little one. My cat is grumbling, he says. You're talking to the empty space. He says, I'm over here in my little warm, furry self. Little gravelly voice. Okay, I didn't talk about you to get you encouraged. I see you. Okay, Cancer. Cancer, what you should lean into for 2025. This is a message from both me and my cat. Let's see. Yes, I see you. Don't scratch that. Okay. Cancer, 2025, what you should lean into. Queen of Wands. 7 of Wands. Cancer, what you should lean into for 2025 is, well, I think you should always strive, Cancer, for 2025 to be a leader. Just because you're in group settings, or let's say, well, yeah, group settings, whether they're work, whether they're friends, whether they're family. Cancer, I don't think you should just go along with the group consensus. For 2025, Cancer, what I'm getting here is you should, especially in group settings, I think there are ideas, there are methods, there are techniques, there's guidance, there's leadership that I believe you should walk into and own. For 2025, Cancer, you should not be a follower, but you should strive to always be the leader. Even if it means you walk away, Cancer, and you're the leader of one. That's the message I'm getting that you should lean into. Well, so I have Siamese. I have Mogis, but I also have Siamese, and their vocalizations are completely different. Very gravelly, like that. He doesn't have the cute, clear, crisp cat meow sounds. No, he's all gravelly and full of emotion. But it's funny, my little calico girl, she's getting a meow now that she actually says ma. I think that's cute. She has a meow that she distinctly says ma. Everyone has a lot to say. Okay, quiet. Okay. So let's go on to earth signs. Oh, wait. Let me go and get this other cat. Okay. I had to flush him out because he was doing not good kitty things, and then I had to follow him and he hid. Then I had to work out my spray bottle. Anyway, I have everybody in here again. They do so much mischief when I'm not looking at them specifically. Yes, it could be. Very much could be. Now let's go on to earth signs, and then we'll do air signs, what everybody should be leaning into. Just starting the 2025 messages. So we'll do Capricorn. Capricorn should lean into 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Wands. I feel like this is a misnomer here. I don't really have to say this, even bottom of the deck energy here, Ace of Cups. Capricorn, I feel like it doesn't really have to be said to, I don't know, I mean, it's not just the stereotypes of the Capricorn collective. The Capricorns that I have seen and the energy that I have felt are very industrious and hardworking. So I feel like this is almost a redundancy here. With 10 of Pentacles and 10 of Wands, I feel like these attributes here that these cards have speak very directly to Capricorn energy. It's raw power that can build anything, essentially, is what I feel from your collective. But it's almost here, Capricorn, with this 2 of Cups I think for 2025, what you should lean into, Capricorn, do you take too much upon yourself? Not saying you can't. No, Capricorn has a wide, expansive capacity for everything. As I said, Capricorn to me is raw energy, raw power of the zodiac, of all 12 zodiac. Yeah, the expansiveness and just the raw, pasteurized, unmined, unrefined energy. That's Capricorn. But Capricorn, I think for 2025, I don't think you should push yourself as much as you have is not necessary. Capricorn, I think you should be searching for partners and partnerships. People who will work in the same, should I say, dedicated, honest energy that you do. Because there are people out there, Capricorn, where you don't have to go and put out as much massive effort as you have been. I think, Capricorn, what you should lean into is lightening up your load with dependable people. Oh, that's very cute. I love geese. Last year, I lived right off a lake, and there were tons of Canadian geese. Well, not tons. There were probably about 50 geese that came by with maybe 25 geese daily. But I love their personalities. There were other water birds around too. There were egrets and some other things. But the geese were just really, really fun. I fed them a lot. Some of them were really, really picky too. It was cute. Other people were like, oh my God, why do you want geese here? They'll poop all over your yard, blah, 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 blah. Oh, but they were so cute. Their sounds were so cute. And then it was really, really funny because after a certain point, if people were there walking around the area, the geese would basically act like guard dogs. Oh, they are. Those geese. And I mean, they were rather big too. I'd say like with their necks and everything like that, they were easily coming up to, my chest, rib cage area. And the geese would go and just walk all around the property and the house. And if anybody came that they did not quite like or recognize, they were there like, you don't belong here. They were like fielding at the invisible fence of geese. But they were really beautiful. I have lots of feathers, lots of geese feathers that I collected from them. I had two that I really, really liked, and they would take food from me, which probably is illegal in New York State. Probably. Nefertiti and Spartacus is what I call them. Very, very cute. Oh yes, I adore geese. I think I love their sounds. I love the way they act. I love the way they look. All geese. I saw this woman years ago. I don't know where I saw it, but she was posting about how she had, what kind of geese? I forgot what kind of geese, but she had some sort of domesticated geese. She had a large flock, and then eventually some Canadian geese joined her flock, and they, partnered up with her domestic geese, and then she started having spotted geese. Like some of them were Canadian goose feathers and coloring and whatnot, and some of them were this other type of goose I mean, they were obviously the hybrids. And within 3 or 4 years, she had a mixed flock of something like 150 birds of Canadian geese and her domesticated whatever geese. And they all like, she was saying how she had this pond, and every night she had built some sort of goose house where they could be safe from the outside predators, and then she fed them. And Canadian geese just came in, settled in, and became part of her flock. I thought that was beautiful. Such a beautiful story. Also, too, to think about all how cute to think about all the geese that fell in love, right? And then they partnered up. Oh, that's so cute. I think it's cute. Yeah, I don't recall quite if I saw that on. It was some sort of place. I don't know if I saw that on YouTube, or I could have seen it maybe on that Backyard Chicken site. I don't know if it's still around, but they could have had a section called Other Fowl. But she did post videos. She did have pictures. It was a couple of years ago, though. But it was a beautiful story that she shared. I think she did post about it a little bit on the Backyard Chickens, but I think also too people were there saying, "Oh, that's illegal," and blah blah blah, and then she stopped posting about it. But I mean, when you have like 150 birds or 200 birds, and it's pretty much, I mean, she wasn't making them pets per se, right? Like she wasn't like snuggling them, each and every one of them. She took care of them. She gave them a heated house. She had a fenced in place. She fed them. They had the lake. And if another, she wasn't there going, "Oh, you're a Canadian goose, you don't get any food," right? Yes. All right. Yeah, I think that's one of my favorite love stories, is that woman's tale about how she had, I don't know if they were English geese or if they were those gray gooses with the orange beaks, but she had some sort of obviously standard domesticated goose, but she had like a flock of 50 or 75, and then within a couple of years she had 200 or a bunch of them. But the Canadian geese were in there, and their offsprings were in there, and their offsprings were having offsprings, and some of them, the offsprings went with the English geese or whatever they were, and some of them went with the Canadian geese. She just had they were like calicos. She had calico geese. Anyway. And thank you, Robin, for the message. As I said, when I'm doing these, it's probably because I have the chat filter set to high. I bet if I lower it, then the message will probably show, because it just automatically flags it, and then I can't share it, which is understandable if they have these special settings for the phone, depending upon what people can film, right? And where. Anyway, I'm going to go on to messages for Taurus. But that definitely is one of my favorite love stories. Anyway, Taurus, what should Taurus lean into? Taurus should lean into. That wants to come out, but it hasn't. Taurus, for 2025, and as I said, perhaps I'm not the most diplomatic with my words, or I'm not using the best words I could right now. But what I'm seeing here, Taurus, for 2025, it feels like perhaps And I'm only saying perhaps because I feel I'm guilty of this as well. But perhaps, Taurus, once you've made up your mind about something or someone, it feels like you made it up, right, Taurus? Whether that person is good, that person is bad, that person is useful, that person is useless, that person is a waste of time, you cut it off and you move on. You say, okay. And Taurus, the message that I'm having for 2025 is almost for those decisions. I'm not going to call them snap decisions, even though it's the Emperor, and the Emperor has, and the reason why I say snap, I mean, the Emperor has all this experience, right? And then as you go through your repository of experience that you constantly build upon, you can notice types and trends, right? So you can anticipate. So that's why I'm saying there's also the element here of snap decisions. I mean, when you have been through certain paces, you can recognize the signs of where they're going and how they'll play out. And Taurus, what I'm getting here is that although you have this repository of knowledge, and you don't have to go and repeat the same failures twice, 3 times, 4 times, and so forth. Taurus, I think a benefit of a doubt for 2025, because there could be things that you are overlooking. I'm not saying your judgment is faulty or anything like that, not at all. I'm just saying, Taurus, that when you start making your decisions, those final decisions, I think, Taurus, you should go and leave a little bit of room, a little bit of wiggle room for further evaluation. Don't cut something off. Don't be so quick to cut something off. Once you've made your decision, okay, Taurus. And then give it a little bit of grace period to see how it plays out. Just a little bit of grace period, Taurus. Because I think that there are possibly some opportunities or some connections or something along those lines that could be very valuable to you that you would shut off for yourself. And maybe those connections or those resources, opportunities that would be valuable to you, Taurus, maybe they wouldn't be valuable, right in the moment, but a little further down the line. So it's something to think about for 2025, Taurus. Give a little bit of grace period just to make sure before you cut off what no longer serves you. Oh, did I do Sagittarius? I did Sagittarius in the first part of the reading. So I did already fire. I started off with fire. I started off with air. Excuse me. I did fire. I did water. Now we're on earth, and then it'll be air. Hello, Xanadu. Good morning. Yeah, so Sagittarius was the second sign that I did for this video. And Sagittarius got an interesting message of what they should lean into as well for 2025. Now let's go into Virgo. Virgo for 2025, what you should lean into. Lean into for Virgo. That wants to come out. Virgo, what I'm getting here, even bottom of the deck energy here being Temperance. Virgo, are there any connections that you have? Deep connections, old connections. I feel like there are There are connections that you have, that you've developed, Virgo, that should be strengthened in 2025. Not saying everybody you ever met or everybody that you ever felt deeply for, Virgo, should be resurrected. I'm not saying that, but I do think for 2025, Virgo, there are definitely, I think for your wealth and for your foundation to build upon, Virgo, there are people already within your circle. And those people are what is, I don't know, those people are what's going to bring you prosperity. Cherish your long-term bonds, Virgo. I think that's what you should lean into for 2025. Also, too, with temperance here, Virgo. And again, this is just what I'm reading from the cards. Maybe forgiveness. There are some relationships, some situations that perhaps you've been separated from, or perhaps you require a certain level of understanding or compassion, or they ask more of you, right? They're more challenging, more taxing. And Virgo, what I have here is, think about those type of connections too, because I don't know, there's something here special among them. Not saying each and every one, but there's something to be said, Virgo, about reconciling, healing, nourishing, cherishing the people who you already know and the people who you already have history with for 2025. Let's go on to air. I have not read for cusp signs. I haven't done any cusp sign collective readings. What I have done, well, I did a reading on Lilith energy a couple of days or weeks ago. I think maybe less than 14 days ago, I believe. And that was interesting. It was actually a lot darker than I thought. And when I was doing the readings on Lilith's messages, it was very Lilith-like. I mean, they were dark messages, but they weren't bad messages. They were, I don't know, they're just very intense messages, but that's Lilith energy, right? For the cusp signs, the fact with the zodiac readings, I see them as applying to anyone, not necessarily just your sun, your moon, your rising, but if you feel that energy strongly within you. Like my signature sign essentially is Libra. And I have a lot of air. I have Gemini and Mercury a lot in me. I feel that a lot. And I think for the zodiac signs, what sort of energies do you feel most prominently within you? But I am definitely thinking about other signs or other ways of doing the collective readings. That's also why I started doing the moon messages, readings by moon sign, although the collective ones go by moon, but then the moon signs, I see that purely as relating to your feeling and also, let's say, 8th house and 12th house energies. Things to think about, things to play around with, things to feel. All right. Let's go off to air. Shall we do Aquarius? After I put one of my kitties away. Right, I understand. I mean, it's funny because, well, when you're born on the cusp of sign, I understand you are one sign's energy, but whatever your I mean, it's a 0 degree essentially, right? Like you could be a 0 degree Pisces and everything in Aquarius. Essentially, your Aquarian energy. Interesting. What's your signature sign, Robin? Have you looked into that? Also, your signature element too. Okay. So let's go on to what 2025, what Aquarius should lean into. Oh, that's interesting. Well, I know that there are, I mean, every year, for instance, and every, I feel like saying every time period that's out there. I mean, there are more energies that are coming. Like we just concluded a new moon or full moon in Gemini. And I mean, if you feel yourself resonating towards that sign or a sign's energy, I think that's also some sort of pull that's going on in there. Like, for instance, I have a Sagittarius Neptune. And I have Sagittarius in the 8th house. So while I don't feel Sagittarius energy necessarily defining myself, I do feel Sagittarius energy almost like a vehicle or like I don't know, a cloak. Like, you know, I feel it like something, or sitting by a heater. I feel it around me. I don't know, it's hard to explain. But do I necessarily see it as myself? Not quite, but I feel it. Ah, Sagittarius is your midheaven. I believe Aquarius is my midheaven. Okay, let's get into Aquarius. No, thank you, Robin. Thank you very much. All right, Aquarius, what should Aquarius lean into? Four of Swords. Emperor. Aquarius, I feel like this is follow through. Aquarius, I think what you should lean into, are there any unfinished projects or ideas that you have? Aquarius, I think for those unfinished projects or ideas that you have that are sort of lingering what ifs, I think you should go and put them into 2 seconds. Yes, I see. A little bit of sleep Xanadu. little bit. I did want to go and get out these 2025, especially after thinking about it yesterday. Okay, enough of 2024. Let's go and bring out 2025, and let's prepare ourselves for what's to come. Let's start getting all the messages we can to make this year a stunner year from all the others. Aquarius, in this energy, any ideas that you're holding on to, I feel like you should go and either work on them. I feel like you should either work on them or I have so many. I'm all of a sudden so popular today. Get text messages, phone calls. I normally don't get that. But it's a lot. The ideas you have, Aquarius, the ideas you've been thinking about, either start enacting them now in 2025, Aquarius, or get rid of them. I don't like really saying get rid of anything that you have plans on, but Aquarius, I think that there are certain ideas that you have been waiting on long enough, and if it's not worth enacting now, Aquarius, get rid of it and come up with new ideas. I think that's really what the message here is for 2025. You've thought enough. Now, don't really stop thinking about what you'd like to do, what you want to do, Aquarius, and just start doing it. Just start working on it. Just start building it, seeing what kind of interest you can generate around it. All right, that's for 2025, Aquarius. You have enough ideas and plans of what you'd like to do. Start putting the muscle into it. Stop thinking about it and start doing. Now let's go on to Libra. Libra for 2025, what you should lean into. I don't know how I feel about this message, Libra. Am I getting reconciliation? Am I getting hearing people out? Five of Cups clarified by a Eight of Pentacles, Six of Swords, and the Moon. No, it's definitely that's the message. Libra. For 2025, this Five of Cups, Libra, is a Five of Cups of somebody who really did their best to try and make a situation work. It's like you employed every trick in the book. You had patience. You tried to employ ingenuity. And you were dedicated. Whatever. Libra, I think that for 2025, you should have a little faster turnarounds. Libra, I feel like you go more than the extra mile. You go the extra 500 miles when you try and salvage something, Libra. And I think, Libra, you should just continue to do as you have been, but don't do this energy of just trying to make something work, draw it out, small steps, Libra. Libra, do what you can. And then make yourself open for everything, open from perhaps changes from situations you're working with and perhaps new opportunities. I think, Libra, on situations that you feel particularly emotional about, Libra, you've been putting in more than the work that's necessary. I think just by showing your intentions, proving your intentions, talking about your intentions, and then be open and move on. You already at the first step, Libra. Put yourself out there. You don't need to put yourself out there. Build a little bridge, Libra. Put up a little sign, Libra. Put out a chair with a cushion, Libra. You don't need to do all those extra steps. And that's what I feel like is being done. All right, let's go on to the final sign. Gemini. What should Gemini lean into for 2025? Gemini, I'm going to clarify this Two of Cups because Gemini, I know from doing your collective readings for the whole year, to me, this is Gemini energy right here as well. Gemini, people talk about Gemini being adaptable or perhaps two-faced, perhaps quick, hot and cold. No, you know what I get from Gemini is you really are like double the package of effort, of care, of talent. Whatever you get with Gemini, you're getting double Gemini. And Gemini puts out always a lot of effort. For the things Gemini cares about, Gemini always puts out lots of effort. It's like the Capricorn reading. Gemini, for 2025, what you should lean into are being around the people who celebrate you, Gemini. Gemini, I feel like if there are any people around you who you have to work extra hard, either in the relationship or to get their attention, it's emotional. This is emotional baggage. It's not necessarily helping out, but it's like emotional baggage. Gemini, I think that in this energy, Two of Cups clarified by Emperor, Nine of Wands, Nine of Swords. It's like you wait too much. You wait on other people too much, Gemini. And in 2025, you should be lighter. Lighter with your relationships. Gemini, you should look very hard at anything that makes you struggle. Also, two things that are not clear. Relationships that are not clear. Gemini, you're pretty direct, Gemini. You're pretty clear. You should be with people who mirror that. 2025. 2025, you don't need ambiguity, Gemini. You don't provide ambiguity, Gemini. Don't be around people who don't give you the same sort of directness and clarity that you give them, Gemini. That's what you should lean into. Okay, so that concludes our first 2025 collective reading. Well, collective reading for Zodiac. I did do some readings yesterday for 2025, but collective readings to anyone who it would resonate with. I will be back with some other videos later. Nice to see you, Robin. Thank you for the conversation. Same with you, Xanadu. And to everyone else, I'm wishing all of you the most beautiful day. Let's get ready for 2025. Coming up soon. See you soon. Bye-bye.